from a banter perspective. What would be 3, in short,
That's a great question. I'll maybe modify it slightly and just say unlikely to ever have that. So,
right.
you know, things like being able to even just be stuff is kind of built into the core physics of our character controller. Uh, the next thing, legs. Right? We've got fucking
Yeah.
legs. Let's be honest, right? I don't know why it took so long. I don't know why it's that big of a deal. Legs are important. I think for a lot of people, you want to look down and see a representation of what your actual body may or may not look like. Or you can make a custom avatar that has no legs if you want, right? That's an option too. But having the option for legs, I think, is important. I think the other thing that makes us unique, and this isn't universally unique, right? We're unique against some people in this way, but not against others. But one thing that makes us a little bit more unique in the spaces is how we focus on performance in order to try and maximize the potential out of standalone devices, because we want to be able to embrace this mobile platform, this mobile ecosystem, and that's important. So yeah, that's
deal.
3 of them. That's
All right.
3 things I would say: physics,
Thank you.
legs, and performance.
Very nice answer to that, actually.
And availability on all
Whoa!
platforms.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
On the wall.
All right. Well, hi,
And the
Shane.
lightning bolt.
All right. So, I have a question, and I hope this is not too convoluted of a question. And I'm gonna try to word it the best I can. So, in your view, what would need to be implemented in a future tense sense for a mass global adoption of regular VR use? In your view, what needs to happen, or what ought to be done on the economic end, the manufacturing end, the developing end for mass global adoption of VR use in an efficient and in an efficient manner?
Gotcha. Can I have multiple answers, or is it limited to one?
Absolutely, absolutely. Give as many answers as you want.
I'll keep it simple, right? I'm not going to go on and waffle. Like I say, we've got a tech waffle event, guys. We do once a week now where we just waffle on about anything in the technical space. We had a great conversation yesterday about Apple Vision Pro, but I think there's 2 things. Comfort, right? That's something. They're going to look back at us and laugh with these things on our faces. Comfort is a huge deal. We need something like glasses form factor for this to really be able to reach that mass market ubiquitous state, let's say. The other thing is software. We need apps. We need more games, more apps. Honestly, I stand here today saying 100% wholly honestly, if it wasn't for that one fact, none of this would exist. None of SideQuest would exist. We exist purely out of the appetite from people to have more software, more choice, more things that they can do with it, right? So if you look into it and do the statistics basically back this up as well, that software or lack of software offering is the number one barrier into VR right now, and that's why SideQuest exists, and it's the core of our success story.
Well, yeah, very nice answer. Thank you very much, Shane.
Am I allowed
That's 3
to
for
give
3.
an answer to that question, or
I'll tell you what.
was
Yeah,
an
go
idea?
go ahead. If Meta Voice is okay with it, maybe we could do a quick one. Yeah, go ahead. We can do this hot take kind of thing.
I wanted to answer his question because I had an idea about it. But
Go for it.
you know, just like Apple had an idea of using the iPhone, which integrated like the iPod, like a laptop, and all functionalities. What about an app that integrates all different types of apps together?
Wow. I mean, I don't know. I saw that a device recently, right? There's this new AI pen you can wear on your chest or something like that, and you just talk at it, and it logs into all your apps and does all of your interactions for you. I can't remember what it was called. I don't know if anybody knows what
Yeah,
I'm
I know what
talking
you're
about.
talking about.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
which one,
right.
but I don't.
Which
Yeah.
it sounds pretty
Here's
much like
actually
what
to
you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
agents.
Yeah, exactly. AI agents that basically pretend to be you on behalf of your on behalf of your apps. I definitely think the noise of all of the apps and social media at some point is going to become a compelling use case.
Because what I was thinking is you have your dancing games, you have maybe apps that are used by businesses. You also have these social apps like Meta Horizon, Banter. So what about an app that's simple to use but integrates all of the functionalities together? The same way the iPhone integrates like the functions of a music player, a laptop. Like it integrates so many different users in a very simple device. So a very simple app that integrates all this functionality, it could be used by a wider range of people, and that would pull people into VR.
That sounds like a
In my head.
metaverse.
Yeah, I was just going to say that sounds like the metaverse. I'm kind of here to myself. Grand Theft Auto in VR, fully immersive, open world experience where we're all synchronized in a live, real time experience. It sounds the Matrix. I mean, that sounds awesome. That honestly sounds awesome. I think commercial agendas often force things into silos of control by limited groups of people, unfortunately, and that's often the detriment to things like that. But we don't think like that here, and we're kind of trying to look for ways to open things up and make it so, like, we have a deep linking functionality, for instance. We're trying to work with developers to help promote their content on Banter now and in the future, and deep linking will allow you to basically go straight from this app into their app, and hopefully with a group of people, right? And typically that's not something apps do unless it's they own all apps, because you're promoting somebody else. But at SideQuest we have a clear agenda to want to promote other people like that too. But yeah, maybe we'll move on. Meta Voice, I know you've been waiting since the last event. By the way, I love how you're
Hi.
interacting with Ander there. That big bounce up and down. That's great.
It
Ander
was
is our
so much
resident
fun.
mess with you in a way that's, oh boy.
No, no.
Also, that
Look,
that
my
platform
avatar
is
didn't load
slippery
in.
to mess with you.
Am I a guy in a suit or am I a robot on a ball?
I see you as a guy in a suit.
Okay, I see me as a robot on a ball. But either way, as long as you see me as a guy in a suit, that helps my ego. My question, though, is for influencers, right? Is I know that you can record yourself on the headset, but it makes it a lot easier for influencers to be able to pull out a camera, do a selfie video, and then be able to upload that to something so that they can immediately start working on it and putting it out there.
Yes.
Right. And
Yes.
influencers are going to be a huge way to pull in people from the outside because they have, big followings when it comes to this stuff. So are
Yep.
you planning on making it a little easier for influencers to actually do that type of stuff and get what's in here out there?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Very great point. Something that we totally agree on. I kind of see it as in two different pieces, really. There's maybe like professional grade camera tools that you could have built in, dedicated to a world, that allow you to kind of have camera rails and various different things in certain worlds. We have those.
Okay.
There's also like more of a personal style kind of selfie camera type system, which we've also been prototyping. In fact, at the back of the space, just over there's one sitting on that shelf if anybody wants to go and have a
I
play
see you
with
can
it.
take a picture, but
Yes.
video.
Yes, video. I mean, that's definitely something we want to be able to extend that to as well. There is a difficulty, I guess, on standalone devices. You might affect performance, and you can create this kind of negative feedback loop where the video itself can impact things. The native platform can record video in a way that's off the main thread and therefore doesn't affect your experience as much. But that's not to say that we won't do it, because it definitely is possible and we can do it. So we're definitely interested in that. But
Okay.
I mean, we also have actually built-in dedicated camera tools into the worlds as well. And you can use these even today. If you have a world and you're the mod of that world, then in our 2D client, you can press F7, have a full free mode camera that lets you fly around. It's got beautiful smoothing on it, so it looks really, really good.
Which is
And
amazing
yeah,
for events.
yes, we're
Amazing for
using that.
events. Yeah,
Anybody
yeah,
wants to
it's
see that?
great, but for influencers, they got to be able to be on the
Yes,
spot sometimes and just be able to hit
sometimes.
record and then stream it, because that's how they
Yes,
get things trending.
I
So,
definitely
but
agree.
I
I
look
definitely
forward
agree.
to seeing stuff.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. No, well, we've tried to put an emphasis on this, and we want to
Mhm.
continue to do so because I think influencers have the strongest likelihood of creating the largest waves of adoption of the game. Right? We've seen this ourselves for not just what we're doing here, but we've seen this in a number of titles on SideQuest. Is that they kind of plug away, and sometimes it can take a little bit of time, and things are moving slowly, and then overnight there's an explosion of content. Right? VR chat went
Mhm.
from 5,000 concurrent users to 20,000 overnight because of "Do
Correct.
you know the way" meme or whatever, basically, right?
Correct.
And yeah, we definitely want to focus on building tools that enables that, and
Yeah.
hope that that can be something we can also take advantage of. And we're trying to be zany and edgy, but not too edgy, right? But yeah, definitely trying to give people the tools they can use and maybe create an environment where those sort of situations can happen.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you. Our helpful banter regular,
Yeah, actually,
Hubbard. How are you doing?
I yeah, fine, fine, fine. I didn't make it to the tech waffle yesterday, but I saw it on YouTube afterwards, and had a question. Yeah, you said that you had Banter running like natively on the Vision Pro. You did a little
Yes.
test. No, yeah, of course, no mobility or stuff. But I was wondering how that would work for the asset bundles. Does the PC asset bundle works for the Vision Pro, or would that need a totally different third asset bundle?
That's a great question. Likelihood is it probably will need a third asset bundle. So that's definitely something that we need to tackle, right? And I think we're going to have to work with content creators to try to propagate as much of that as possible. But thankfully, we are quite involved in a lot of the spaces. Either they're spaces that we've created ourselves, or we're working with the content creators to work on them too. So it shouldn't be, hopefully, right? Pinch of salt. Take this with a pinch of salt, because Unity has a nice tendency to shoot you in the foot when you say something like that. But hopefully, it should just be a matter of ticking an extra platform and hitting build, and nothing really different at the end of the day for creators, right? But yeah, in terms of Vision and iOS, as to whether or not that will be one build, which is what we hope it will be, to cover both devices, or whether it
Yeah,
might be a separate build for each. That's kind of the outstanding question on that right now.
yeah. If you get support on iPhone, iPad, and Vision Pro, probably have a big potential user base. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
for
That
sure.
was
I mean, we want to maximize that, right? I think that's a good strategy to try and get as many people onto the platform as possible, is support as many devices as possible.
all right. Thanks.
Thank you, Hubert. And thankfully, we've got some passionate people internally who, honestly, as soon as they got their Vision Pro, that was basically the first thing that they wanted to do, was to try and get Banter running on it.
Yeah, cool.
Kage, good to see you.
Good to see you,
Uh,
Shane.
how are you? What can I do for you?
Yeah. Yeah. So originally, Huber kind of stole my question. I was going to ask you kind of the
Oh no.
exact same thing about Vision Pro, but I guess I can ask something a little different.
It
Um,
was great.
now
We had a
that
lot
you've
of
had,
fun. Asked some good questions. He's going to show me some kind of D&D world.
oh,
They can
he's not
hear
going there.
us.
Anyway,
Shut up.
Oh,
now that you've had some team members who have used it and utilized it, is there anything that stood out to the team of potential, like future potentialities that has arisen from it, or are there any things, difficulties that you've seen? Like, just give me a little bit on the future of Banter, but from a Vision Pro perspective, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think, I mean, I've heard this from a few different people now, mostly people who are notable in the VR space and have been involved in mainly creating VR games. Uh, like Denny from Cloudhead, right? He has been honestly banging on about this now for quite a while, and he's not the only one. But the lack of controller support on Apple is going to be a problem. It's not going to detach them from gaming like they think it is, because all it's going to do is drive that into the hands of the community, pretty much like it's already done. And then it's going to become this big, it's this big piece in the media about how all of a sudden now you can do gaming on Apple Vision Pro. I've actually already seen it. There's articles across Upload VR, Road to VR, all the typical ones about how ALVR works on Vision Pro right now, right? I'm sure I've seen a teaser from Thrill Seeker on Twitter. I'm looking forward to seeing his video on it, and a few people are doing write-ups on it. But ALVR is similar to Virtual Desktop and other similar softwares in that it can stream PC VR to a standalone headset, right? And they've managed to get that working on Vision Pro. Now, there are no controllers, so the only way they've been able to make it work now that's viable is to combine it with the index controllers, right? And then you've got base stations which are tracking that, and you're using a piece of software called Open Space Calibrator to synchronize the tracking spaces between Vision Pro and your Steam VR tracking, basically. And that's how they're doing it. Honestly, looks great. Fidelity of the screen and the quality of the tracking of the device are kind of perfect in that regard. So yeah, I feel like Apple is pushing gaming in almost every other platform, right? All the latest iPhone announcements were about how all of a sudden you're going to have AAA games on an iPhone, right? Which is kind of nuts if you think about it. They're pushing gaming like crazy on Mac, but here they have a device which they've decided gaming is not something that they want to talk about. So I think they need to embrace that. There needs to be a controller option because the hand tracking is not good enough. It can't track hands fast enough. Two games that are available on Vision Pro, for instance, are Fruit Ninja and Synth Riders, right? Synth Riders I particularly really enjoy on Quest because it's a fast-paced, music-based game. You've got to be able to move quickly, but you can't. The hand tracking just isn't there, which makes for a really poor experience. So that I would say is probably one of the bigger things about Apple Vision Pro is that they need to do that because if they don't, somebody else will, and then they won't have any control over it, and they'll have to try to shut it down or accommodate it, right? And that's never going to be good, not for an Apple ecosystem. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question, Kage.
Does one follow up real quick? Because now
Shoot.
that you mentioned that, I've heard about Fruit Ninja consistently that it's not fast enough to track. But you're the
No,
first
I've
person
seen
I've
it.
heard that Synth Riders isn't fast enough either. Why do you think they chose those two games as their examples then? Right? Like those are the featured games, and if they were play tested and they're just not good, why would they
Yeah,
feature
I mean,
them?
I would answer that question with a question. Why have they got games if they're making it not about games? To some degree, right? Why have they half embraced the gaming thing, but not? The announcement showed a PlayStation controller and somebody playing games on the device, but then they're avoiding anybody mentioning VR or AR relative to the device, and clearly they haven't properly enabled gaming on it. But yeah, I don't know. It's I think their strategy is not quite clear yet, certainly to me, in terms of how the device is supposed to be used.
Makes sense. Okay. Thanks, Shane.
Thanks, Kage.
That was a really good conversation there, and it just, reinforced the whole thing about Apple being Apple.
I see Triffid. Hey, Triffid.
Ellen has joined the space.
Oh my
has
God.
joined the space.
Lean. You don't fuck around, do you?
Chatty has joined the space.
Can you guys
I
hear
know
me?
what happened.
The gravity?
_Lee
Mhm.
has joined the space.
Yes. Yeah.
We didn't
That's not
know
the
that
first
was
time
going
that's
to
happened.
happen.
We
I
need to
kinda
get
know
that.
Wow.
We need to get that sorted. We won't
Yep.
let that happen again.
I was up there and we didn't know that was going to crash everything. But as soon as it happened, I was right behind them.
The one, the only Pony has joined the space.
What was it that
HBR,
crashed?
Pronounced as Hubora, has
think we
joined the
broke it
space.
So
I
there's
has
a
joined the space.
There's a problem with the gravity slider on the top in that space. That if you click it, it seems to set an endless loop, sending messages back and forth on the network. So everybody crashes, and then you can never enter the room again.
Iron Wolf has
Wicked.
joined the
Slide
space.
in there.
Yeah.
Lisa has joined
Reverend
the space.
Lunar
has joined
Oh
the
my
space.
gosh, it must
Yeah.
be an
Dusty
old
is
version. I already
has
did
joined the
that,
space.
but it
Discord
seems like I
Kitty has
haven't
joined the
updated
space.
this.
Welcome, folks. Apologies for that hard crash. That was a hard crash. That's definitely what we can describe that as. I think first priority is just let's see if everybody's okay. Second priority is that we need to get Waffle Man to see this waffle avatar.
Discord Kitty has joined the space.
know, that's
Yes,
correct.
unfortunately, had to do.
What is it?
Apple.
He's what?
But I will tell them.
Apple.
Shihan, aka
Yes,
the Waffle
yes.
Man, had to leave, so they left just as
Your
the
fake
Metaverse
avatar
had
has joined
asked
the
his last
space. Joined
question.
the space.
That's. I love
But
people
post
taking
a
advantage
picture
of
in
the
events
Daddy
announcer.
channels, and I
joined the
will
space.
definitely pointing him in that direction.
You'll win it sometime, Aline. This is the second time you've tried to create an avatar on the fly as somebody requests it, and they've disappeared, and you haven't been able to get them to see it. But you'll get someone someday. Someday you'll get them.
Yeah, I just
Oh,
have to
Dead
get
said it's a
past
lollipop.
that.
That's cool.
Waiting for my monkey avatar.
Hey, get the fuck away from me.
Where's the lollipop?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh my
Joined the
god.
space.
Okay. Maybe
I love ice cream on my waffles.
Proxide has joined the space.
Eamon.
I do.
Oh, we the
I
best
always
duo
put
now.
ice cream on my Belgian waffles. They-
Maybe you could
Such
pop
a
back
good
in if you could take a risk, Eamon, if you don't mind. Maybe you could try popping back into the Banter developer meetup. There's still about 4 people in there.
Ian
Right,
Harris
I've
has
tried
may
joined
not
going
the
know we've
twice.
moved.
On both times, it's failed. We'll go.
Maybe not. I think it could be like a black hole at this point. Until everybody gets out of it, you can't get back in.
Looks like it's coming.
We love
Oh, the
bugs.
irony.
We love bugs, especially that one.
Proxy.
Aline is
Got my 2D over there.
Aline is a waffle. That's a nice consolation, right? This is a great avatar, by the way, for the tech waffle next week.
Yes.
We're gonna wear those. That's gonna be great.
They are awesome. I love it.
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
I have to add a face to it.
Let's see. Who was it? Was it Nagy that was about to ask a question? Have we got Nagy here? Did he make it, or did we lose him? I don't see him.
Oh, it still runs the whole. Let me just get out.
Okay, so look, we'll wait. We'll move on, and I guess he can jump in. Discord Kitty, I'm going to assume you're down there because you've got something you'd like to ask.
Yes, this time,
So,
yes.
Go right ahead.
So just regarding all these really cool hero avatars, I haven't really done anything like that since Sims 2, Sims 3, just like doing content for the game. So how would somebody
Gotcha.
like me make the jump? Like where would they start to kind of figure out and make their own hero avatar?
Gotcha. What I probably say is if you've never interacted with it before, maybe don't jump straight into Hero. It could be good just to get familiar with the Ready Player Me studio interface to maybe just start with some outfits or maybe even just some texture swaps. So one of our community members, Remarcus, has been really kind enough to create a video that shows you all of that. I would start with that. I think it's only about 7 or 8 minutes, and it takes you through all of that, how to get that all created and get it into here. After you've done that, then there's a great little what would I call it? A speed run, or Aline has gone through sort of a detailed start to finish, going from taking an avatar she found on Sketchfab, downloading it, handling the rigging of it, doing the weight painting as part of that, and trying to get everything working, and then bringing it into the platform as well. So that's the full end-to-end hero avatar system. Both of those videos should be linked either in the avatar channel in our Discord, or in the pins of one of the other one of the avatar channels as well. So you should be able to find those. Definitely, those are great places to start. One other tip I would give you as well, which is possibly a good idea. You can download pretty much every combination of avatar that you can make on Ready Player Me. You know, at the last step after you've saved it, it pops up with a URL to the GLB file. Often that can be a great place to start because it's already compatible and optimized, and it's got everything built in. And if you just wanted to make some slight alterations to it, then that can be very easy to do. So we've also got a growing number of people on the platform who are creating avatars. Lots of people, crazy avatars. Look at that lollipop over there. It's mad. So it's buzzing right now. You can jump in and ask a question. I'm sure somebody is going to have some feedback or some input, and can certainly help you get started.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Uncle_Calvin has joined the space.
Okay, Uncle Calvin, I don't know if you're meaning to. Oh, do you have a question? You're standing in the question spot. No question. That's okay. You've got Iron Wolf. Go ahead. I'm going to assume you've got a question. Go right ahead.
Yes, I was thinking about the Discord Kitty, what she was saying about the hero avatars, and I'm wondering if there are a lot of people that are interested, and we can try to have a discussion on Discord and share a screen and try to do something together if someone is interested.
That's awesome.
Would like to do that if someone else wants to, just to learn and do stuff together.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that sounds really great. I mean, I think custom avatars is kind of a big thing for people. It's important, that you've got some sort of identity that you can attach to and associate with. It's really important in these social spaces. So we want to try and get behind that as much as we can, and try and help, people who want to create. But also the community is, like I say, really buzzing around it at the minute too. So there's a lot going on there. We have a lot of plans ourselves to kind of, let's say, hero and showcase people who are creating avatars and stuff like that in the future. And we even are exploring paths to people being able to, generate a revenue stream, right? Being able to potentially sell their avatars in future, because a lot of the tools are already there. So in short, jump in. Discord is the best place to kind of jump in and get immersed in that right away. And we've also got a direct line with Ready Player Me generally. So if you have any serious questions about how that works or how we can improve on the implementation in future, and sometimes things break. Like most recently, there's a problem with the hero avatars, but the community has kind of came to it and figured out a workaround and a solution for that problem, which is great. So they're now working again. Just a slightly different process to be able to access them. But that's an example, great example of how the community can come together and we can figure out how to get things working properly. Do you know what I might do quickly, Iron Wolf, before we move on? I see Dusty, isn't it? What I might do is, we're basically at the end of the event, so for Shoseki's benefit, who's live streaming, everybody can just wave in a random direction. Shoseki might see you, who's live streaming. I'll just close it off for him, right, so the live stream can end. But thank you all for coming. This is our weekly Space Makers event where we talk about making spaces on Banter and pretty much anything else, right? But thanks for that. Shoseki can cut it, but I'll jump onto your question, Dusty.